This is insane. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, bringing you a video today talking about the recent announcement after Capcom Cup 9. Now, a lot of you guys probably know I'm not a super big Street Fighter guy. Willing to bet a lot of people out there also weren't super big Street Fighter guys, but they're gonna be singing a different tune after this announcement, because in case you haven't heard, at the end of the Capcom Cup Pro Tour, right after the finals, and big shout out to Man RD for doing his thing out there. I did actually watch Top 8. I'm not a big Street Fighter guy. Like, I don't keep up with the game super closely, and I don't play it obviously very much at all. I will be giving Street Fighter 6 a good old college try and honest shot, see how I feel about the game. But I always watch Street Fighter at Evo, and I always watch Capcom Cup. Their big announcement after the tournament was over was that, of course, there will be another Capcom Cup, another World Tour for Street Fighter 6, and that the prize pool will contain $2 million. First place for Capcom Cup 10 for Street Fighter 6 is $1 million. And that has to be the biggest prize pool we have ever had in fighting games for esports. Like, I know NRS and Capcom, they always do pretty good for their events in terms of prize pools and whatnot. Like, I believe this year Meta received $120,000 for winning Capcom Cup, and he's actually the first ever two-time champion. So again, big shout out to him for doing his thing, man. That's really impressive. There were no Japanese players in top 8, and Meta RD, I believe he's only like 22 years old. He's the first player to ever win it twice, and the first time he won it, he was like 16 or 17 years old. And I think when he won it back then, I should probably look it up. I want to say he won like $200,000, somewhere from like 200 to 250K. I had to take a second to go look, but I double checked, and yes, he did in fact win $250,000 for winning Capcom Cup back in 2017 at just the age of 17. And the thing is, like, obviously, after this announcement, Twitter was on fire. It was ablaze. That the FGC lit up like a Christmas tree. Everyone they mama talk about, oh, I'm gonna be main Street Fighter. Yo, where the Street Fighter 6 beta crack at? Where that who top tier? I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? Everybody getting their jokes off. Everybody getting their tweets off. But this is a big deal, because a lot of people are seriously now going to be maining Street Fighter 6 as their game, you know, and obviously a lot of people are gonna get into it and then realize that it's really not for them, or that they don't have a real shot and fall off. But this is insane on so many different levels when it comes to the future of prize pools for not only Street Fighter but other games, and then just the community and the FGC expansion as a whole, viewership, tournaments, everything, and not even just viewership of tournaments, but just like the amount of players on the game, the amount of people watching and consuming fighting game content, especially the Street Fighter 6 content. And it's just, there's so many levels to it, and this is so exciting for so many reasons. And it's so incredible to see that after all these years of FGC is poverty and this and that, and that, this is what it's finally come to. Capcom has always offered these large prize pools for Capcom Cup, but this is insane. Like, this just takes it to an entirely new level. NRS also has had really big prize pools for Mortal Kombat and for Injustice in the past, and we don't have any announcement or news in regards to what the next NRS game will be. But you have to imagine that Capcom just set the tone, or set a tone that's going to change the landscape of tournaments for the upcoming generation of fighting games, and is probably going to force other companies, and you would at least hope so, to kind of pick it up and to compete somewhat. Now, I don't expect Tekken or Dragon Ball, if there's even a future for DBFZ, who knows, this game might be on its last legs, but you know, of Tekken, of NRS, and all these other games, I don't expect them to match the $2 million prize pool, have $1 million for first place, because obviously not every company's got money to dish out like that, and obviously not every game's as big as Street Fighter. However, I do genuinely believe that this could be the start of something new. Word to High School Musical. I do think it's also kind of funny and ironic that this announcement just broke the FGC, like just broke the internet in the FGC. After we recently had, you remember that whole tweet that was going around, and we had a discussion. I even had to sit down and talked about it in a podcast style format with Sajam and LK about how the FGC is broke and is never going to grow, et cetera, et cetera. And very clearly, that's not true. And again, we're talking about Street Fighter specifically, but this does affect other games, because with Street Fighter being as big as it is, being the household name, being the mainstay, being the stable that it is, it's going to get even bigger in terms of viewership, in terms of players and everything like that. This alone, like, this announcement is reaching people outside of just the FGC, or people who like really sit there and grind out fighting games. People hear, I can win $1 million for playing Street Fighter. And again, a lot of those people who are going to pick up the game for the first time, whether it's their first time playing Street Fighter, or they're casting aside other games to focus on Street Fighter, not everyone's going to actually, you know, make it to that level. But the important part is that they will be there playing the game, and they will be interacting with other people, and they will be consuming that content as well. So this means a lot for Street Fighter, obviously, like as a game, in terms of having more players. This means a lot for content creators like myself, like Maximilian, like Sajam, everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like whether you're a commentator, whether you're a competitor, like Punk or Mena or Taquito or whoever, right? Or whether you're just a content creator like myself, there's a piece of the pie in this for everyone. And this isn't even just about the money at this point, because even though it's obviously a very large part, that's the focal point of this, it means a lot for the community, and it means a lot for the growth of the community, because I genuinely believe that this is going to have that type of impact on it. We already had a lot of hopes and expectations on the horizon with the release and the announcement of games like Project L, right, which we were all hoping would be a game like this that was going to expand the FGC and bring in a bunch of new players, and then likely have a very large prize pool for any big events that they are a part of, any majors that they host, or whatever world tour that game may or may not have, because it's being developed and produced by Riot Games, which are obviously the people who make League of Legends. And well, in case you weren't aware, Riot is a very big company with a lot of money to throw around. So I mean, they're more than capable of offering not only $1 million but millions of dollars for tournaments if they so choose. I mean, you look at the other games that they have like Valorant and whatnot, and if they want to, they definitely can. And I think they want that for this game and for the community overall. But yeah, we were expecting something like Project L to be that, like, I don't want to say savior, because I don't think fighting games needed a savior, but to be that thing that could push the boundary of fighting games in FGC, and especially the prize pools with it. But I don't think anybody expected Capcom, because again, like I said, like we've seen big, like large cash amounts. Mena won 250K back in 2017. I've seen Sonic Fox win 6 figures for winning Injustice and Mortal Kombat tournaments, but this is next level. The way I see it, Street Fighter is always the mark of the next generation of fighting games, and the biggest boom I think we ever saw in the FGC, and granted, I wasn't really part of the FGC back then, but with the release of Street Fighter 4, with the literal thousands of people who showed up to play that game at EVO, and just like, you know, like the big boom that fighting games had with that, there's a great example of that. And like every time a new Street Fighter release, that's usually the sign that, you know, fighting games are about to go to the next generation. So Street Fighter 6 is about to drop. Tekken 8 probably will not be releasing this year. I think we can pretty confidently say that. That's been my theory for a while. But I don't think that game's releasing until next year. But again, you know, we got the next Street Fighter, the next Tekken, the next Mortal Kombat and or Injustice, or whatever the game NRS has in store. It hasn't been announced yet. We may or may not be able to expect something this year. I don't really know, but I'd be willing to bet that we'd see something from them this year, with the game releasing late this year or sometime next year. Point is, I've already been excited for Tekken 8 and what that game has in store and the opportunities that are going to be there with that. But I think it's going to be something that they're going to have to step it up even more in terms of the next Tekken World Tour and everything. And maybe not necessarily this last one for Tekken 7 that we're probably about to have, but for Tekken 8, that World Tour, they're going to have to step it up, man. And again, I don't expect people to be offering $1 million like Capcom is, because not everybody's Capcom, but you ain't going to be able to offer $10,000 and people like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to cough up a little bit of cheese, a little bit of Skrilla, and I do expect that to happen. And now that I think about it, whatever NRS is working on, man, it's got to be something big for it to be taking them this long and to have no announcements yet. So maybe they've got something crazy in store too. But I digress. So going back to the opportunity aspect of it all, again, whether you're a competitor, commentator, content creator, whatever, there's a huge piece of the pie available to everybody. The next generation of fighting games is here. Well, it's about to be here. We're on the cusp of it. Right, and it's an incredible time. It's a great time to jump into it. Whether you want to be the person who's winning that $1 million, or whether you're somebody who wants to participate in tournaments, watch tournaments, commentate tournaments, or just play the game for fun, stream it to some people, make some YouTube videos. The time is now, man. The time is definitely now. Once Street Fighter 6 drops, I think we're gonna see a whole new wave of people who are all over that and are benefiting from the release of that game, enjoying the game. And it looks like a lot of fun. It looks really cool. Everyone seems to be enjoying it a lot outside of the music, I guess, because people have been very critical of that. But yeah, and then I'm really excited to see what's in store for the rest of the community and the other games that will release post Street Fighter 6, because I think we're in store for a lot. And again, like I'm just imagining now like what Project L is going to be able to do for the games as well. But man, can you tell I'm excited? You know what else is crazy about this? I think most people were probably expecting some sort of new character reveal or more brand new Street Fighter 6 footage, like as a trailer or something at the end of the Capcom Cup. They didn't have squat outside of that Capcom Cup, you know, tour announcement, like with the prize pool and everything, and everyone still lost their minds. There was no new Street Fighter 6 stuff outside of like the tour and the prize pool, and everyone was like, yeah, no, that's fine. And you know, I feel you. If they announce $1 million first place prize for DBFZ or Tekken, I'd be like, I don't care about no other content. This is all we need right here. Also, just to put something in perspective real quick, because again, $1 million to pretty much everybody watching this video, man, you never know who's watching, you know what I'm saying? I might have some millionaires out there who enjoy my content, so that's what's up. Hey, y'all should slide through to the Twitch stream. I'm joking, but well, half joking. Y'all should pull up though. Twitch.tv/LotusAsakura. Links always in the description down below. You feel me? But just to kind of put things a little bit in perspective, right? I don't know with confidence or for sure who is like the most wealthy or who has made the most amount of money off of fighting games. But I'd be willing to bet that Sonic Fox, who is one of the most talented, most skilled, and most prolific fighting game players of all time, is probably pretty high up on the list. And you can go over to a website like Wikipedia, right? You can see like their career earnings. Obviously, most stuff is tracked, not everything. But it literally shows you, you know, the different events. Matter of fact, let me pull it up on screen for you. All right, so boom. So if I come over here, you can literally look and see, if you've never been familiar with this page before, you should look into it. It's pretty cool. It's like Wikipedia for fighting game players, basically. And you can see, you know, the name, date of birth, stuff like that. But you can actually see years active and approximate total winnings. Almost $800,000. That's still less than $1 million. There's going to be one person who wins $1 million from winning this tournament. And that's insane. You can also see like all their accolades and all the different events that they've participated in and which place they've got and all the different games and whatnot. I'm not trying to pocket watch. I'm just trying to put in perspective. Like Sonic Fox is obviously one of the most probably well-paid fighting game players of all time, and their approximate total career earnings throughout their like nearly a decade at this point of dominating fighting games doesn't even amount to $1 million just in terms of prize winnings from competing. Somebody's going to get that amount for one tournament. It's not just one tournament, because you know, in order to get on Capcom Cup, you got to do well on the tour, qualify, all this and that, and it's a pretty big thing. But like in a year, someone's gonna. It's insane. It's insane. I feel like this video is going on way longer than it needs to be, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up. But it's just really cool, man. It's just really cool to see after years of people playing fighting games and competing, and you know, originally it being something that you do for fun, you do with your friends or whatever, and then people being in an arcade and you know you run money matches, talk trash, whatever, whether it be 50 cents or $50 or $500, right? And then just to see the evolution of things over time and to get to this point where someone's going to become a millionaire, and you use the word loosely, obviously, but winning $1 million doesn't necessarily make you a millionaire. Plus, you know, it's taxes and everything. But I digress. The point is to get to this point where there's this type of money available for somebody playing fighting games, for somebody playing Street Fighter. It's a beautiful thing, man. And you don't even have to be a Street Fighter fan or even someone who intends to play the game to appreciate that and see the beauty in that. That's definitely where I stand. I'm certainly not someone who's gonna, you know, put it all on the line and grind the game 8 hours a day thinking that I have a chance of winning that. But I am going to be playing Street Fighter, and we'll make some content on it. We'll see how long I stick with the game, but there's definitely going to be a lot of people who put everything they have into Street Fighter 6 in hopes of winning that $1 million first place prize, and that's cool. Hopefully people don't develop any unhealthy habits and go too far with it, because I mean, you could kind of compare this to being like, it's not quite, I was going to say, like, you know, making it to the NBA or the NFL or something, right? Like, only but so many people are going to be able to do that, and obviously a lot of people have dreams of doing that, but most people aren't actually going to do it. The number is very small, but only one person's gonna do it. A lot of people make it to the NBA. I mean, it's only been like a few thousand in history, but you know what I'm saying? Like every year, it's gonna be at least 60 new people who get drafted to the NBA. It's only gonna be one person who wins that prize, but there's still $1 million other dollars up for grabs in the event. So you don't gotta get first place to get a pretty large chunk of the pie. You feel me? Second place probably still gonna be like $700,000, $500,000. You know what I'm saying? So you make top 8. You still looking kind of good. You feel me? But like I said, I rambled on for far too long. This is really cool. This is really exciting. I didn't expect this video to be as long as it is already. I'm sure I bored some of you guys, but I was just really hyped and I want to talk about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit the like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all the content I'll plan on bringing you. With all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing could happen to you swing the bat. Later.